more Christmas content for the final week. You can call it till Christmas. Yes, super exciting. I have this video planned. I have a wrapping presents video planned. I have a ASMR in public video of me going to see some Christmas lights also planned. We have some fun Christmas content coming along the channel, so hopefully you enjoy. Make sure you like the video if you do in fact like the video, like this idea, want to see more Christmas content, or just want to help support the channel. Giving a like is the best way to do it. And also comment down below your favorite Christmas movie, because in fact tonight I'm going to be tier ranking a lot, maybe the major, I'll say, Christmas movies. So sit back, relax, and let us get started. But first, actually, before we get into the video, super thank you to the super comment, Antonio. Right? Yes, Antonio left a super comment on my last video. Yes, I know. Yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday for you guys was maybe one of the biggest sporting events of all time, and I could make another video on it, but I've made so many World Cup videos, and I don't really want to keep dragging it out. If you want more, or even my last, potentially, World Cup football video, definitely check out the 1 hour video I posted yesterday. The entire sort of rundown, my final bow and wave to the World Cup is in that part of the video, so make sure you guys go there and check it out if you're looking for that. But also thank you, Antonio, for the super comment, super thank you, and super thank you to anyone else who decides to do this in this video, other videos, even just liking the video, watching ads, commenting, subscribing. Super thank you. Okay, now we can get started. But yes, in tonight's video, we're tier ranking Christmas movies, and this one has apparently 61 movies to tier rank. We are not doing 61 movies, not only because obviously I probably haven't seen all of them, but that is just a lot to go through. I will just be, at least in my own opinion, tier ranking the ones that I feel deserve, or at least can be mentioned to be tier ranked. Some of these movies are very niche, some of these movies you're not even going to know about. Maybe I'll know it and you know it, maybe you'll know it and I won't know it. I'm only going to be really tier ranking ones that I'm sure are very universally known as some of the best, or at least more infamous is a good word, Christmas movies. So, going in order here, we have the top rank, the S tier, for legendary Christmas movies, great Christmas movies, good Christmas movies, okay Christmas movies, and the F tier, the not for me tier. I don't want to say they're bad or anything like that, because Christmas movies are obviously movies that, are very nostalgic to a lot of people, and I will be taking into consideration my own nostalgia when ranking these movies, but I'll also try to take into account how just good and how quality the movie is, even though I'm not like I don't get paid to rate movies, but I'll get my own input on it. Okay, so the first movie they have here, at least sorted in the way they do, is Disney's A Christmas Carol. And I will say, I love the animation in this movie. I feel like it's one of the first movies that actually had like facial recognition animation, and I actually really thought this was like the next gen of movies back in the day when this movie came out. Jim Carrey obviously carries this movie heavily. He plays, I think, 3 or 4 different characters in this movie, and he does an amazing job. And they actually, of course, take his face, put in the movie, all his facial expressions are really cool. But it's just, kind of just a regular Christmas story, not Christmas story, a Christmas Carol movie. And I think as of right now, I'll put it in good. It is a solid mid-tier good movie. I might see where I rank some other ones, and I might move it down, just because it is a remake of a movie already. It doesn't have a really big nostalgia factor, at least to me, but it's good, and the animation's cool, so I'll put it in good for now. Then we have A Christmas Story, which is why I said A Christmas Story. Jeez, man, I'm just gonna say now, I'm putting it in legendary. This is a movie that gets played on some networks literally all day for Christmas. Christmas, and I think also Christmas Eve. This movie is funny, has a crazy storyline. It's a movie you can watch by yourself, with family, with kids, with adults. Like, the adult jokes are funny, the stupid stuff that kids get into are really funny. Like, this is just a good quality movie in my opinion. Some people might find it kind of cheesy, but in my opinion, I think it has a nice sort of touch of every sort of thing that anyone could really enjoy this movie. And I do watch it a couple times a year. I've already watched it once already. I'll probably watch it again before the Christmas season's done and over with. It's pretty funny, and also has one of the most iconic lines of all time of any movie. If you know it, you know it. Next up, we have A Charlie Brown Christmas. I'm gonna put that in great. I think for animated Christmas movies, it's definitely one of the best ones. I won't put it in S just because, at least to my knowledge, the last time I watched it, I obviously watch it, I probably again once a year. It's that good of a movie. It's a very slow paced movie. Nothing really happens. There are a couple things that happen, and in the end where they get the tree and they sing it like a play, or something like that. They have that scene where they're dancing around. I actually kind of don't even really remember the story a whole lot. That's kind of maybe the reason why I don't really, not gonna say put it in S tier because of that, but I think the story just isn't that great. It's iconic. It's a great one. Obviously, it's just Charlie Brown and Snoopy and all those guys. It's great, and the music is amazing as well. But I don't think the actual movie is amazing, so that's why I'll keep it in great for now. Arthur Christmas, don't think it's worth rating, not gonna lie. If I would, it'd probably be in the not for me, but I'll just, again, we're sticking to the more notable ones in my own opinion, unless it's notable to you. You can rank it yourself. Next up, we have Elf, though, and, oh man, Elf is S. It is S+. It's not only probably arguably the best Christmas movie of all time, it's just one of the best comedies of all time, if I'm being completely honest. I think it is one of the best comedy movies of all time, and Will Ferrell has a couple of those, which is crazy. This movie is definitely hysterically funny. I remember when this movie was first coming out, even the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years after this movie came out, it was just so funny. It's a movie that I would watch without it being Christmas, and even nowadays, even though I've seen the movie literally probably tens and tens and tens and tens of times, maybe 50, 60, 70 times, I still find some parts funny, and I chuckle at it, and great nostalgia factor, underrated music, the acting I think is really good, and Will Ferrell just puts on an amazing iconic role as Buddy the Elf. It's maybe in a tier in itself. Elf. We have Eloise at Christmas time. Yeah, not gonna rank that one. Four Christmases. I love Vince Vaughn. Don't really think it's worth the ranking. And we have Frosty the Snowman, the animation one. I'm gonna give this one an okay. When it comes to, of course, if we're comparing animated movies, Charlie Brown's Christmas, Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman, I don't even know the story, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's just the kids, I think they build a snowman, and then their teacher or some just random guy in the village or town they live in has a magic hat, and he's a magician, I think, and then it somehow gets on the snowman's head, something like that. And then I know he dies at the end, doesn't he? Doesn't he die, or do they rebuild him again? Something like that. I don't even really remember. And if I'm being completely honest, the Frosty the Snowman song might be the most annoying Christmas song of them all. Not a big fan of it. It's okay for me. And also, sometimes the animation in that used to freak me out when I was a kid. I didn't like how some of the people looked and the noise and sound effects they used. Anyways, it's okay. It's not bad. We have Gremlins. Again, that's just a movie that just so happens to take place during Christmas. We're not ranking that. And then we have soundtrack, and I think it's a great movie. So that's obviously an S tier movie, no doubt. And then we have sort of a controversial pick from your boy Jake Baller, ASMR, at Home Alone 2. I'm also putting that at S tier. Now, am I putting that at the level of, a Home Alone or an Elf? No. Is it sort of like a Christmas Story sort of tier where it's like it is one of the best Christmas movies? Absolutely. And at least in my own opinion, I do know that Home Alone is the better movie, but I like to watch more and find Home Alone 2 my favorite of the bunch. If I could be completely honest, I love the idea of him going to New York, the trouble he gets into, the place he gets to go and see. I always have such a, I'm always really, into shows and movies that has sort of that sort of theming of, going to an hotel. Like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody may be my favorite TV show growing up as a kid, because that's sort of living in a hotel thing. Also, now with this show, and I also just love hotels and in general, so, or traveling too, so this movie kind of, it definitely takes me to a nostalgic place, my interest, and different things like that, and it's also just kind of a similar movie, just with a bigger stage of New York City, so I think it's pretty good. Okay, now we are on to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated version, and I am going to put that at, oh man, it's definitely good or great. I think it is better than A Christmas Carol, so I will put it in great for now. That is a really solid one. I know it's not even really technically a movie. I don't even know how long it is. And I mean, there's just a lot of narration, and again, it's sort of like a very slow-paced sort of story, but obviously, music iconic. The animation is really dope. The visuals, the drawings, I think is really cool. Dr. Seuss obviously known for that, obviously, and it is good. It's really short, and man, I don't think I've seen that one in quite some time though. But from what I can remember, and I've watched it I think I watched it not last Christmas, but the one before that, and I definitely enjoyed it. And it is again very iconic with the character. Speaking of that character, up next is the live-action version with Jim Carrey, and in my opinion, that is an S tier. I know I'm very much willingly throwing these movies in S tier, but come on, it is also a movie that is in the running for one of the, if not the greatest Christmas movies of all time. And maybe is it one of the funniest, sort of movies out there? That's for your own sort of thing to think about, but I feel like every time I watch this movie, I find something different. I find a joke differently. I look at a joke differently. Something Jim Carrey says just kind of hits me in a different way. It is also one of those movies where it's just a funny movie you can watch with the kids and adults. The things, the little innuendos and whatnot. It's just a really funny, good time movie. And I will say the story sometimes is obviously very different from the cartoon version, but I think in those moments it does get a little weird. It stalls out a lot, but at its core and center, it's still just a great movie. So I think that's an S tier movie as well. It's a Wonderful Life. Oh man, should I even rank the really old ones? God, I've seen it before. I know I have, but man, I just do not remember it at all. This is definitely not going to be a main one for a lot of people. legendary, and there's so many legendary movies already, but like, man, if you just want to talk about just the music of this movie, the soundtrack will make a grown man cry. The soundtrack to this movie is so magical. You could even say it. Honestly, it is so moving. The story is so unique and different, and it is a very fantasy style movie. But when you watch it, it does make so much sense. Like the storytelling, it just trucks along the entire movie, and it's super good. It is super good. It also takes into like sort of again animation, like the Christmas Carol did, sort of like a lot of facial recognition and whatnot. Tom Hanks does an amazing job in this movie as well. It's oh man, it's a great movie. I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but it is a movie I do watch every single year. We have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'll put that one in good. I think it is better than Frosty the Snowman. It is a nostalgic movie, and it does have its moments of like kind of boredom and stalling out, but I think it does sort of tie a nice little bow on a Christmas year watching this movie, especially with a friend, with a family, I should say. Not bad, and obviously like the stop motion animation is man, it's a dying sort of art, and the way they shot these movies back in the day is super amazing and actually very interesting to see and learn and look it up on YouTube. I think it is really cool that they actually shot full-length movies like that. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Wow. In my humblest opinion, I will say this is definitely a Christmas movie more than a Halloween movie, so I will allow it. I'm putting that in legendary S tier as well. Yes, rack up another S tier one for Jake Baller. Not only because I love Disney, this is just, again, one of the best animated movies of all time, with stop motion of the entire movie, and again, soundtrack amazing, the voice acting amazing, the storytelling no duds, super unique. It's Tim Burton, and just the idea of a bunch of scary things and wanting to learn about Christmas is pretty infatuating. I think it's really dope, and the way the movie plays out and everything like that, it's always super interesting. I don't think there's really a dull moment or moments in this movie where I kind of get bored and want to do something else. Whenever I watch this movie, I watch it fully, and I always really, really, really enjoy it. And of course, the nostalgia factor, being someone who grew up watching Disney with their family a whole lot, this was one of the most major ones that we were watching. I love it a lot. Next up, we have the Santa Claus. In my own opinion, I did state this myself when checking out the Christmas movies before in one of my videos. This is in fact my favorite Christmas movie. Yes, this is my favorite one. It's my number one. I watch this multiple times throughout the Christmas season. But I won't put it in legendary S tier. In my opinion, it's probably more in the good for a lot of people. I know a lot of people who have never watched this don't like it, or they see it and they say it's good. It's my favorite. I really couldn't even tell you why. Again, it's sort of just like a nostalgia thing for me. It's my own personal reason. I just really like and enjoy the movie. I think Tim Allen does great. I really like the child actor in this movie. I don't really remember his name though, but I think he does a really good job. I love Bernard in this movie. He's dope. And even like again the little small jokes. The story is really funny and interesting. Obviously with Santa dying and someone taking a spot, like that's a funny, cool idea, and I think they do a really good job. So the Santa Claus 2, that is interesting. Santa Claus 2 I'll put in okay. I know some people might even like the Santa Claus 2 more, but in my opinion, it's teetering on like the not for me side. I love some moments, but like the moments where there's like the Tooth Fairy and stuff like that, and then also like the villain or the antagonist is like a toy version of Santa Claus. I don't know. It's a weird story. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but anyways, I think it's okay. It's washable. Watchable. Oh, we have the animated version of The Grinch. Since it is a Grinch movie, I think we should rank it in a much for watching this. Make sure there's a like on tonight's video. Comment down below your own favorite Christmas movie, yada yada yada. And yeah, I'll be seeing you again in my next video. Very, 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 very soon.